All right, today we're diving into a major power shift in the streaming world. And honestly, the new king isn't who you probably think it is. Let's get right into it.
So if I asked you who the true king of streaming is, what's the first name that pops into your head? Probably has a big red logo, right? Well, what if I told you that's not quite right anymore?
Actually, we now have some hard, concrete proof of a silent giant that has, quietly taken the crown. And it's a big deal.
Yep, you heard that right. The whole battle for your attention, for your screen time, it just had a huge upset. And get this, the winner is a model built entirely on being free.
Okay, so for years, we could only really guess at how much money YouTube was actually making. It was all a bit of a mystery. But just recently, Google's parent company Alphabet, they finally opened up their books. And the numbers, whoa, they're absolutely staggering.
All right, so let's get into the numbers. Let's look at this financial showdown, because the data here, it tells a really, really clear story.
Okay, check this out. For the full year of 2019, YouTube pulled in a massive $15.15 billion. I mean, that's an incredible number by itself, but it gets even crazier when you add some context.
And here's the kicker. That $15 billion, that's just from ads. We're not even talking about their other ways of making money, like subscriptions. This is purely advertising revenue.
Okay, so now let's bring in the reigning champ, Netflix, for comparison. In that same year, 2019, Netflix's total revenue, that's from every single subscriber they have all over the world, was around $14.8 billion.
And there it is. That's the upset right there on the screen. YouTube's ad business, all by itself, brought in more money than Netflix's entire global subscription empire. A new leader has officially emerged.
You know what's just as wild? The speed at which this happened. I mean, just look back to 2017. YouTube's ad revenue was about $8.15 billion. 2 years later, it had almost doubled. That's just an insane amount of momentum.
So this whole thing really boils down to two completely different ways of thinking about how to win our attention and our money. Let's break down these two paths to the top.
It's a really simple difference, but it's profound. You've got YouTube on one side, where everything's free to watch because advertisers are paying for your attention. Then on the other side, you've got Netflix. No ads, but you're paying that monthly fee to get in the door.
You know, there's actually an industry term for what YouTube does. It's called AVOD, which stands for Advertising Video on Demand. The idea is simple. You get to watch for free and advertisers pay the bills. And that simple idea is the engine that just cranked out over $15 billion. Okay, so what? Why does any of this matter? What does YouTube's win really tell us about where media is heading? Well, it all comes down to the incredible power of scale and this thing we call the creator economy. So how in the world did the free model pull this off? Well, first, its scale is just unmatched. Anyone with internet can watch. Second, the content library is basically infinite, right? And it's always growing. And maybe the most important part, most of that content is made by users, by creators. That means YouTube doesn't have to spend billions producing it like Netflix does. It's the whole creator economy in action. Creators are paid to make more content, which keeps people coming back for more.
And remember, we've literally only been talking about their ad business this whole time. That mind-blowing $15 billion number, that's just one slice of the pie.
Yeah, because YouTube also has its own subscription services that are growing pretty fast. You've got YouTube Premium, YouTube Music, and YouTube TV. We're talking tens of millions of people paying them every month. And all of that money is on top of the ad revenue, which just makes their financial position even more dominant.
When you put all this data together, it really starts to paint a much bigger picture. This whole financial reveal, it forces us to ask a really fundamental question. What is the future of our screens actually going to look like? This quote really kind of nails it. We always knew YouTube was huge, right? But now we can see its true scale. This isn't just another number in a report. It's a genuine shift in how we have to think about the entire streaming landscape.
And all this leaves us with one last big question to chew on. In a world where every single service is fighting for a piece of your wallet, is it possible that the real winner is the one platform that never asked for your credit card in the first place? Definitely something to think about.